let's just call them the unstoppable Super Eagles. Arise correspondent Ebi Yomo, who has more on the day's action, is joining us now. Ebi, I can imagine how excited you are. It was electrifying. You should have seen the cameras, behind in the newsroom. We were all shouting and screaming on top of our heads. Excitement everywhere. Tell us the feel over there.
Well, thank you so much, Ngozi. It's an exciting feel. The Super Eagles of Nigeria have sailed to the semi-finals of the African Cup of Nations for the first time since 2019. In 2021, they lost out in the round of 16 against Tunisia. And coming into this tournament, so many did not expect them to go far, and they have been jumping over every obstacle. Now, 5 games in the tournament, the Super Eagles have just conceded 1 goal, courtesy of the change of formation by the coach Jose Pesero. This victory for Nigeria means they have avenged their 2006 loss to Angola, where they failed to qualify for the FIFA World Cup. I think it's a big one for the boys. There are so many players, they're making their Afcon debut. The likes of Ademola Lookman, there's Zaidu Sanusi, there is Al-Hassan Yusuf, there's Frank Oyeka. So many players who are making their their African Cup of Nations debut. So I think it's a big feel for them, because you need to see the excitement on the faces of the players as they celebrated that victory against Angola.
All right, okay, let me come back to you. Looking at the pictures there, no one would have thought that all the very heavyweights were there. But look at this very young lad. I'm excited about this young boy. I would have thought that. Did you get to speak to the young man? I'm quite sure.
Okay.
But anyway, it's an exciting moment. It's an exciting moment there. I'm so happy that you were able to capture that moment of every one in that particular place in Abidjan. Now, let us in on first what the team is saying as they look forward to the semi-final.
Well, when it comes to football, there's always history between opponents. And now, before this game, for instance, so many asked about the Angolan game. And we had series of players like Moses Simon, the captain, William Chus Ekong, saying they do not care about history, but they just want to win every game as it comes. Now, in the semi-final, Nigeria will be facing the winner of tomorrow's game between Cape Verde and South Africa. Nigeria and South Africa has a lot of rivalry, especially the Amapiano rivalry. So I think Nigeria knows what they are going into if they are facing either Cape Verde or South Africa. But whether there's going to be an upset, that's Cape Verde defeating South Africa, is left to be seen. But I think the Super Eagles have improved. There's now a different kind of chemistry. You could see the back as a defense. You could see the goalkeeping position. You could see how confident the goalkeeper was. Like we said earlier, the Nigerians were hoping and praying that Stanley Oluwabali would be the man at the goalpost, and he was that man. He saved last minute, towards the dying minute, he saved a shot that would have leveled the game. I think Nigerians are brimming with confidence. The Super Eagles are also brimming with confidence. You could see the good substitution by the coach. You could see the nice substitution he made in that game. I think the Super Eagles are flying like they should.
Yes, indeed. Let's talk about officiating. When that particular goal was disallowed, some were saying, look, the officiating seems to be tilted against Nigeria, that it's unfair. Let's talk about officiating in this particular game.
Well, I think, to be fair, the officiating has been quite impressive as opposed to what we saw in the last Afcon tournament. Now, it might not always go in the way of every team, like we saw Nigeria's goal being cancelled, but if you could look closely at that second goal, there was a little bit of offside there. So I think it could have been given, it could have been disallowed. I think it was just a case of discernment on the referee. So I think any decision he would have made could have stood. But I still think that altogether, the referee in this tournament has almost been impeccable.
And maybe that brings us to the argument of some, when the VAR was introduced, a lot of people kicked, but now it looks like it's working and doing wonders, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. The VAR will not always go in favor of someone, of a particular team. And there are times that it favors a particular team. There are other times that it doesn't favor the other team. And I also think that when it comes to VAR, there's nothing like 100%. This time out, there have been right calls. There have been referees being able to make their own decisions, even notwithstanding the calls from the crowd, the calls from the players, the calls from the coaches. I think CAF has done a good job with the refereeing and also the players. I think there's a little bit of fair play when it comes to play. What is most important is that when you get a chance, you get your goal. When you are leading, whether you double or you do not double, you get that much needed victory. Now we're no longer talking about 3 points or a point or not even getting a point at all. You're just talking about knockout, get victory and progress to the next round, which Nigeria has done. I think all in all, like I said, I think the officiating was good. The players were good, and the players have stunned Nigerians because when the Afcon was about to kick off and the mantra "Let's do it again" came up, I think so many people laughed like, why would you be doing "Let's do it again" when you know that the players seemed not to be good enough, when you knew that the goalkeeping position was not even stable, the defense was not stable. But now I think there are no doubts whatsoever. You talk to Nigerian fans and they say, bring it on, bring whichever team you think you can bring. And I think so many fans here are rooting for Nigeria Cote d'Ivoire final. I think it will be a matchup to watch. It will be a big one to watch to see probably the host progress to the finals should Nigeria get a victory in the semi-finals.
And we're hoping for the very best. Look, Abi, they say games are won from the bench. How good, how strong is our bench? And do you envisage any changes by the coach going to the next match?
Well, there's a saying in football, do not change the winning team. And I think that is what the coach has been able to do. When he found out that the 3-4-3 formation was what gave Nigeria the winning formula, he stuck by it. You could see that the lineups from the last game and this game are the same thing. We saw Moses Simon, Adeloma Lukman, we saw Osime, we also saw Franco Yeka, we saw Iwobi. The same players he had in the last game were the ones who started this game. Now, on the bench, you have experience. When you see the substitutions, when you bring out, for instance, the coach brings out a Franco Yeka and he sees Nigeria is winning, he brings in a Kenneth Omeru, who won the 2013 African Cup of Nations, alongside Ahmed Musa, who is also on the bench. And on that same bench, there's Kelechi Iheanacho, who plays for Leicester City, who has not even played a minute at this African Cup of Nations. Everyone knows the quality Kelechi Iheanacho offers to the national team. We saw him at the qualifiers, banging in goals, giving winners for Nigeria to qualify for this particular tournament. There's Chido Awaziem. They are strong. Joe Aribo, they are strong players on the bench. I think the hope is that the coach and the players maintain this momentum, this winning momentum, this mindset that they have been able to pick. It seems they are growing into the game. The coach is now knowing the African way, and he is getting the confidence of not just the team, not just Nigerians, but also the NFF board. I think kudos to the coach, because at the start of the tournament, like I said, no one gave a chance to Jose Pasero.
Lastly, before we let you go, speaking of which, the kind of support they're getting from the president, now we also saw the Senate president and the deputy speaker live there in Abidjan. How does this help the team and every Nigerian there?
When these footballers know that Nigerians are rooting for them, when they know that dignitaries from all over Nigeria are present in the stadium. We saw Godswill Akpabio, we also saw Peter Obi, we saw our RI's chairman there, that's Prince Uduka Ogbagbina, there to support the team as well. You will know that Nigerians have faith in this team. Anyone is willing to book in tickets. And the funny thing is that as Nigeria progresses, we see an influx of Nigerians into Abidjan. Now, Nigeria will not be playing in Abidjan in semi-finals. They will be playing in Bouaké. And I'm very, very sure that so many Nigerians will want to come in and see Nigeria qualify for the finals for the first time since 2013. I think it's going to be a big one. I think that's what all Nigerians are hoping for. And to put a smile on the face of Nigerians back at home, who we know a lot of things are going on back in Nigeria. I think this will set the stage for unity in the country, because football is a unifying factor.
You can say that again, Ebi Iyoma. Toast to that. Hey, a toast to that.